All right. Welcome to the Doc Stanley Show. It is a little bit after 7:59 Eastern Standard Time, 6:59 Central Standard Time. Whatever time it happens to be where you are, it's now the top of the hour. So welcome. My name is Todd Wickstrom, aka Doc Stanley, and here to start a brand new episode of the Doc Stanley Show. So why the Doc Stanley Show? Well, I wanted to have a fun name for this show, and my nickname was Stanley in high school because in junior high, my seventh grade English teacher was making up names for our middle initials, and somehow mine was Stanley, and it stuck with me. And I was a DJ in high school, and so my partner's name was Todd, so we had to come up with something other than the Todd and Todd Show. So it became the Doc Stanley, the T. Edward and Doc Stanley Show. So my real passion is all about the team experience. I'm going to share my screen here real quick and show you a little bit about me so you can see who I am. So this is me and my motley crew of four boys there at the bottom. Nick is the oldest, then Alex, then Nate, then baby Jake. A couple of places I've had a chance to work at over the last few years, places that I went to school, a couple of businesses that I've helped to start. And but I always like to start every meeting, every class, and every episode of the Doc Stanley Show now with gratitude. So encourage you guys to also to share whatever you are grateful for as well. So I am just really grateful for this opportunity, in particular grateful for the good doctor Mike Chua, who opened up this opportunity to share my passion, which is really around the team experience and around the work environment. So I am just super grateful for this opportunity to be here with everybody tonight and talk about what I believe is another inconvenient truth, right? Which is the toxic work environments that we see all around us. Many of us have had the unfortunate experience of being in the middle of some of those. So I want to start talking with sort of the big picture. So take a back look at what's happening in the world around us, and a couple of just big statistics here to really get you to understand sort of the scale of the situation. So I don't know if you know this or not, but of the top 100 economies in the world, 70 of them are corporations. So this is a list of the top just, I think what I have here, the top 100, United States being the biggest for a little while. But look at this, Walmart, right? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Walmart is the 10th largest economy in the world. All of these that are in blue are corporations. Green are actually countries. So if you look at it, think back what that means. 70 of the largest economies in the world are corporations. So you think about those numbers. Let's go back for just a second. These are actually in millions of dollars, right? So this is 3,000. These are $1 trillion. So the United States, right? $3 trillion a year. So just to put this into perspective, to help you understand the difference between a million, a billion, and a trillion, right? It seems easy. We just add 1,000 more. But let's put that into perspective. If it was seconds, right? It would only take 12 days for 1 million seconds to elapse, but it would take almost 32 years for 1 billion seconds, and 1 trillion seconds would amount to 32,000 years, right? So we think about $3 trillion, think about how much money Walmart has, how much power they have with those economies that they're a part of. So think about what values are driving those big businesses. And we're going to talk about toxic work environments. We're going to do a quiz so you can actually evaluate your business and see how your business fits into all of this. But I really want you to be able to think through, we all know what's happened to Enron, right? We all know the stories about what's happened to all of these other businesses from Volkswagen, all of these horrible stories that have impacted many of us around the world, right? From just big, huge companies that don't seem to care about their workers, right? So we'll think about work and why this is so important to me. Well, a big reason that this is so important to me, and I just want to show you the raw notes that are on here. So just give you an idea, you can see behind the scenes. That's why this is all live. So you can see what it is. You can see the notes. You can cheat and see the upcoming slides if you want to. But you know, the average worker, that's you and me, we're all average, spends about 90,000 hours at work over their lifetime. 80% of us say that we're just outright dissatisfied with our jobs. 60% of us say that our jobs are making us insomniacs. And there's over 1 million employees that miss work every day because of stress. It's huge, right? For many of us around the world, our jobs are quite literally killing us. Right? In the US and around the world, work-related stress is now considered the 5th largest cause of death. It's probably higher than that when you think about what's really happening. From here, in Japan, think about this, in Japan, hundreds of Japanese workers die every year from karoshi, or death by overwork, that might involve suicide or simply dropping dead at their desks. In the US, stress from work is estimated to be the 5th biggest cause of death. And check this out, this is in China. So this was a study done in 2006. They said that according to statistics published by the China Association for the Promotion of Physical Health, at least 1 million people in China currently die from overwork each year. Think about that. Did you know, right? Think about this too. It's harder to get a driver's license than it is to get a business license, right? No wonder there's so much toxicity, because there's no bar to get over. We can get a business license and start to hire employees and treat them however we want to, right? All we need is a name, a social security number, we form our LLC and we go to work. And yet a recent study from Mayo Clinic revealed that the person that you report directly to has a significantly greater impact on your health than your family doctor. In a Harvard Business Review, this one totally blew me away, showed that 58% of people say that they trust strangers more than their own boss. Unbelievable. So I'm on a mission to eliminate what I call post-traumatic boss disorder. You know, we've all had those bosses, right? We've all had that boss that we wish we didn't have. And they say that, you know, most people don't leave a company, they leave their boss. It's the reason most of us leave a position that we're in. You know, in this group, there may be many of you that are actually considering getting into a new position because of your boss, looking for an alternative career because your boss is the cause of all of your trauma. So I'm on a mission to really help create better leadership, better training, better team building, better work cultures, so that when we go to work Monday through Friday, some of us have a little different schedules, but when we go to work and we spend that time, we should be able to enjoy what we do, right? I think all of us want to work hard, but we want to work in an environment where we feel appreciated. And it's no wonder that there's so much trauma, there's so much toxicity in so many of these work environments. A recent study from Career Builder said that 58% of managers said they didn't receive any management training. Right? They just happened to be at the right place at the wrong time, or however it worked, or their buddy. I was talking to a guy last night, actually, at a cookout at our church, and he said that he had been working in the school district for the last 15, 20 years, and that the majority of people in leadership positions in his school district had no reason to be in those positions, but it was put in those positions because of friends of theirs. You think about the education of our children, right? But there's no litmus test. There's no decisions that are being made in the best interest of an organization. It's your buddy, it's your brother-in-law, it's somebody that you know. And no wonder there's so much trauma. So I have a vision. I shared this in Tampa, in Clearwater, Florida, earlier this year over Memorial Day, to create a virtuous 500. right? Different than the Fortune 500. The Fortune 500 is really, all about the bottom line. It's all about profit. It's all about, we always hear about this globalization or these, massive multinational corporations that are, only consumed with a vulgar accumulation of wealth. Well, I have a vision, and it's starting tonight. It's actually started in Clearwater, of building a network, an organization of 500 businesses that are all connected to each other, that are all committed to doing business differently, to leading with love, to making a great team experience, to making a difference in the hearts and the lives of the people that are on their team, treating their clients better, and really being an active part of the community that they're in. And this isn't specific to healthcare. This is any industry, any business. But those leaders, you think about the power that we have as business leaders, the responsibility that we have as business leaders to make a difference, right? Because we know that when people leave work, they go home and they're sharing that stress, or they're sharing their victories, their wins, whatever it happens to be, whatever their day was, with people that are around them when they get home. And so I think we have an amazing opportunity to make a huge difference in the world, regardless of the industry that we're in, just by treating our teams with love and respect and honor. And they will go home and do that same thing when they get home. So very, very passionate about this, and really making a difference in the world and the work that we're doing together. So, when I first got into this, and I'll share a little bit more about my my background and sort of what I have, why I'm doing this now. I didn't start off to be a whatever this is, an internet live stream chat guy on Thursday nights. My real passion, what I've really wanted to do, is to make a difference with teams and with leaders. And when I look at what's happening in the world around us, and when I look at the opportunities, the responsibilities that we have to be able to make a huge difference, it's overwhelming sometimes. We think about the impact that we can have in the hearts and the lives of the people that show up for us every day. So I'm not a physical therapist. I'm not an occupational therapist. Some people jokingly call me a business therapist. And sometimes I think I do a lot of work of a therapist, maybe more psychological. But it's fascinating, right, in business, how much psychology there is in everything that we do, in terms of the way that we interact and we relate with our teams, the way that we relate and we interact with our clients, with our landlords, with our vendors. But I started off, I went to chiropractic school and dropped out about halfway through, and ended up getting in business with my college roommate. And instead of becoming a doctor, bought a Chinese restaurant, and I've been basically a serial entrepreneur ever since. But my real passion has been about the team experience. What are people going through on a daily basis when they walk into work? What are people, are they being challenged? I think that our role and our responsibility as business leaders is no different than it is as a parent, right? That we have, this is one of the things that I'm a preacher about, if you will, is that if you fail to define the culture that you want in your business or at home, right, it will be defined for you by the behavior that you tolerate, right? So you think about it as a parent. If you're not a parent, think about your parents as you were growing up. If there is no structure, if there is no framework around what it means to actually have rules, to learn values, and it's just a free-for-all that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, we all know what sort of culture that we end up with, right? And we think about what happens in a business, it's the same exact thing, right? We know when we are in business, whether we have leadership skills or we don't have leadership skills. We know if we enjoy working with other people. So one of the reasons that I've been so attracted into healthcare is because of a lack of leadership training. You know, I think obviously if you look at the advances in science, we're doing a better job year after year after year in training better PTs, better chiropractors, better medical doctors, better, you know, because the advances in science. But there's no training in leadership, right? There's no training in team building. There's no training in how to build the culture that you want in your business. And so I think for me, it's immoral, if you will, to have a business that isn't putting the team first. I'm a big believer that the way you treat your staff, that the way you treat your team is the way that they'll treat your clients or your customers, whatever it is that you want to call them, whatever language, if you want to call them patients. I prefer clients. We'll get into more of that in the next few weeks. You know, but tonight I really wanted to focus on how do you tell if the work environment that you're in is healthy or it's toxic? Like, how do you know? So there's a great quiz, and so I'm going to walk through this, and then we're going to stop in about 12 minutes so that we can join Captain David Bailiff and get bendy on this thirsty Thursday Eve. But what I want to do is to really give us the opportunity to understand with relative certainty whether what we are experiencing in our workplace is healthy or not, right? So is what we're dealing with a healthy or toxic environment? So this is a quiz that I'm going to share with you guys. And we're going to go through this. Let me just share my screen one more time here. And I'll get better at sharing these things. Zoom, I've realized, isn't the best for what it is that I'm actually trying to accomplish here, but we'll make it work either way. So this is a diagnostic tool, if you will, for you to be able to understand what's actually happening with your business, your workplace, so where you work. So I want to go through this. So if you have a pen and a piece of paper, you're going to want to go through this. So this is our 10 different items that we're going to take a look at. So I encourage you to sort of think through these things. And if you would like a copy of this, I'd be happy to send it to you. If you just go to grooveNhancers.com, go to the tab in the center that says Get Connected, give me your email address. There'll be a little sort of questionnaire that pops up, and just put in there, say, hey, Todd, send me the toxicity diagnosis so I can share it with other people. I'd be happy to send you a copy of it. So just go to grooveNhancers.com, click on Get Connected, give me your email address, and let me know that you want a copy of this, and I'll be happy to send it over to you. So what's going to happen, there's going to be 10 different topics. You're going to read 3 statements under each of those topics and choose the one that best matches your current situation. If you're super happy where you're at, or maybe you're not working, you're in between jobs, think back to the last position that you had. Give yourself 5 points for every A, 3 points for every B, and 0 points for every C. Keep track of your points, and then we're going to add them up at the end of the quiz and see what your current workplace toxicity is. All right, so let's dig in. So honesty. So remember, A, 5, B, 3, C, nada, 0. So honesty, point number 1. So A, my boss is honest with me when things are going well. And when they aren't, my boss tells me everything I need to know to do my job well. They give me feedback when I need it, compassionately, but truthfully. B, my boss tells me the most important stuff, but I know they aren't always forthcoming with me. The informal grapevine is a more reliable source of information than my supervisor is. C, My boss isn't honest with me at all. When I ask for information that I need to do my job, they ignore me or say that I'm not at liberty to share that. They keep me in the dark, right? It's what I call being treated like a mushroom, right? Kept in the dark and fed a lot of crap. So after honesty, we're going to go to trust, A. Remember, 530. So A5, B3, C0. A, my boss trusts me and I trust them. We have a great partnership and my coworkers feel the same way. B, I can sometimes trust my boss, but not all that often. I have seen my boss pull some shifty moves, like telling an employee they were going to get promoted and then promoting somebody else and denying they ever made the commitment. C, I can't trust my boss any further than I could throw them. My boss would say anything they need to make themselves look good. Remember that study that I just shared? 58% of the people interviewed said they trust a complete stranger more than their boss. Direction. A, in this company, we know our career path. Some of my coworkers want to keep the same role for years, and that's okay. Other people want to move ahead, and they get the coaching they need to do it. B, I don't get much direction about my career path, but I know what I need to do to advance to a higher level position when one becomes available. C, no one at my job has ever talked with me about my career plans or aspirations. The boss's attitude is you have a job. If you don't like it, quit. Personal life. A, my company understands that I have obligations outside of work. When my dad had surgery and I needed time off unexpectedly, they were great about it. I can leave work early now and then if I have something urgent to do. And if the weather is bad and I need to work from home, it's no problem. B, my job kind of understands my obligations outside of work, but they get grumpy when I ask for any kind of accommodation. Or C, I can't even mention my commitments outside of work. My company's attitude is your job comes first, second, and third. Your personal life is not our problem. Compensation. A, I know the market rates, right? What people are making around me in the area for the same job. And I know that I'm paid fairly. My employee benefits are reasonable or even above average. B, my compensation is okay, but nothing to get excited about. My company likes to keep compensation costs as low as they can. C, my compensation is embarrassing. Acknowledgement. At my company, they are always acknowledging and thanking the team members, which feels great. B, it is pretty rare for a manager in my company to say, thanks for a job well done. They don't spend a lot of time or energy acknowledging the team. C, I've never heard my boss or another boss here acknowledging an employee. Just, it's sad even reading some of these responses because I know there's way too many workplaces that are like this. Guidance, or as my Rasta friends would say, guidance. A, when I'm not sure what to do on the job, my boss is a great coach and mentor. He or she has taught me so much about how to do my job and how to succeed in the working world in general. B, if I need help at work, I can get it, but I don't like to ask for too much guidance because my boss is busy and gets impatient. I've probably all had that boss. C, I had better not ask for guidance at work or my boss will say, if you can't do the job, we'll find someone who can. Fun. There are days when I get out of bed excited to get to work and dig into an exciting project. Sometimes when I'm doing something else like washing dishes in the sink or putting gas in my car, I daydream about the coolest work on my desk. There's a lot of creative expression in my job and I have a lot of fun. B, my job has fun elements and some really cool people, but it's not fun on a regular basis. C, no one would ever use the word fun in conjunction or in connection with my job. Flexibility. A, my managers are flexible. They will make changes on the fly as circumstances shift. My boss wanted me to fly to Phoenix and said, I'll do it, but I have to travel over the weekend, so I'll need 2 days off next week. And they said, fine. It's a give and take situation. They treat us like adults. B, there is a little flexibility in my job, but not much. I worked every Sunday in December. to get ready for year end. And when I asked for Monday off, my boss said, just this one time. C, this job is not flexible at all. They keep us in fear, so nobody ever asks for time off. The ability to work from home, or even the ability to leave work at 5 p.m., which is supposed to be the end of the business day. And then last but not least, ethics. My leaders at work are ethical people. That's one thing I admire the most about them. They always make ethical decisions. That's why our company has such loyal customers and employees. B, my managers typically do the right thing, but I have seen them mislead customers and employees, so I don't take their ethics for granted. I get everything in writing. And C, my managers are not ethical people. Their only objective is to make money for the company and to take care of themselves. They would throw their employees under the bus in a minute to make themselves look better. So hopefully you've kept track of your A's, B's, and the C's. Remember, an A is 5, a B is 3, and a C is 0. Go through all of these and add up your score, right? So there's 10 topics, so the most you could get is 50. If you want to double it, you can, right? Multiply it times 2 to give you out of 100. So if you think about 90 and above being an A, as we're all used to. But for now, I want to just look at these, right, with the 50 being the highest. So 41 to 50 points. Your workplace is healthy, right? Be happy. You can add to the health of your organization by speaking your truth often, thanking and acknowledging your coworkers and supervisors for their humanity and honesty, and encouraging your workmates whenever you can. 32 to 40, your workplace is above average, and your good energy helps it get healthier every day. Remember that everyone has a heavy burden to carry. Take a moment to tell your coworkers how much you value their teamwork and support, and offer your help when someone is struggling. Tell your boss how much you appreciate them. Positive reinforcement works wonders. 23 to 31, your workplace is right on the cusp between health and dysfunction. It's always a good idea to keep your resume and LinkedIn profile updated. Think about the kind of job you would look for if you started job hunting. I imagine many of us in this group are in this space right now. The clearer that picture becomes in your mind, the more excited you will get about your own possibilities. Practice finding your voice at work. The muscles you will grow by speaking up are the same ones you'll need to conduct your job search. 14 to 22, your workplace is toxic. You deserve better. Why not update your LinkedIn profile and resume this weekend, and your resume this weekend, and start a stealth job search in September. If you've got 5 to 13, your workplace is harmful to your health. No one can remain healthy working in a place like that. Look, that's my alarm to get ready for David Bailiff's Thirsty Thursdays. Don't get depressed about it. Take this quiz as a nudge from Mother Nature to begin planning for your next great adventure. And if you have under 5 points, you're a saint for putting up with it, but you need to get out of there. Take action. Your future is up and out of that toxic place. Soon your toxic workplace will be in your rearview mirror, and you'll be sailing down your path. So I encourage you to take this very seriously. Being in a toxic work environment, we're going to talk next week about how these got created. Why are you in a toxic work environment? What is it about us that keeps us in toxic work environments, and what can you do to get out of it? And then in the weeks after, we'll talk more about a healthy business, what it looks like to have a healthy business, what a healthy business is designed to do, and how it's supposed to treat its people, meaning its customers and its employees. So I'm going to wrap up really quick with a blessing that I will close with, and then we'll jump over to see David Bailiff. So may God bless you with a restless discomfort about easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships, so that you may seek truth boldly and love deep within your heart. May God bless you with a holy anger at injustice, oppression, and exploitation of people, so that you may tirelessly work for justice, freedom, and peace among all people. And may God bless you with a gift of tears to shed for those who suffer from pain, rejection, starvation, or the loss of all that they cherish, so that you may reach out your hand to comfort them and transform their pain into joy. And may God bless you with enough foolishness to believe that you really can make a difference in this world, so that you are able, with God's grace, to do what others claim cannot be done. Thank you guys for joining me for episode 1. Let's bounce over and see Captain David get bendy with Thirsty Thursdays and get some knowledge. Thank you guys. We'll see you back here this time next week. Take care.